Some people call it aluminum. Other people, maybe in the rest of the world, call it aluminium. Doesn't really matter. Whether you're selling aluminum or aluminium, a set of taxes might take the shine off America's trade with China. On Tuesday, the US Commerce Department slapped new import rates on China's aluminum or aluminium foil. They're supposed to help so-called harmful trade practices. So allow me to show you, if I get the foil out of the tin. It will come out eventually. Here we go. So what are we talking about? Well, the decision will impose duties of up to 81%. That's quite a large amount of duties. After all, when you think about it, in 2016, the United States imported nearly 140,000 tons of aluminium foil, worth almost $400 million from China. Now, that gives you an idea of the perspective in terms of this particular crisis. The complaint against the Chinese producers started with the Aluminum Association here in the United States. And Heidi is the chief executive of the organization and joins me now from Washington. I read your statement. You basically say you can compete with anyone, but not with subsidies. So you must be pleased that the administration's first real move against China is on your case.
Richard, thanks so much for having us. And yes, we are very pleased with this. We applaud the administration's very bold decision yesterday. Yes, it's a preliminary decision, but it was a significant step in signaling that this administration cares about U.S. trade laws and is committed to enforcing those laws.
China, of course, denies that it is subsidizing it to the egregious extent that, that your organization says.
You know, China, yes, they are planning to challenge this investigation, and the U.S. Department of Commerce plans to validate the information that we brought forward in the case. But we saw 26 subsidies by the Chinese government in this case. And that is significant, and it is very difficult for U.S. industry to compete against subsidies like that.
And if you take the way you compete against other manufacturers, as I understand it, you sort of say, well, bring it on, we'll compete, but not in this case.
You know, I believe our U.S. aluminum industry can compete with the best in the world, but we cannot compete with the Chinese government. And our issue is with China and the fact that they have systematically been subsidizing their industry and ramping up overcapacity and production of that industry in a way that far outstrips demand.
So I understand your concern is aluminum, but let's be honest here, Heidi. You're the tip of the spear, aren't you? You're the foot in the water, the toe in the water, I should say. I mean, let's get these aluminum on sanctions or tariffs on, and then let's start looking at something, say, for example, steel.
You know, Richard, we could use you at the Aluminum Association. I think you've done a great job of displaying the significant problem that we have. I'm not an expert on the steel industry, but what this action signals from our association is that we are going to stand up and make sure that our trade laws are enforced. And, you know, this is an action we do not take lightly. We're a very free and fair trade oriented organization, and in the history of nearly 85 years of our Aluminum Association, this is the first time that we've taken an action like that. We're very fact-based. We've looked hard at the facts here, and we believe the facts support the case.
Final question. By the way, you'll be pleased to know that the aluminium that we've been using, I'm looking here, is made in the USA, so you'll be okay with that. Final question, is it aluminum or aluminium?
Well, you know, for those of us in the United States, it's good old aluminum.
I still can't. But thank you very much. Good to see you, Heidi. Nice of you to come in.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much indeed. Yep, absolutely. Made in the US.